Hi everyone, this is Yulia. I want to talk today a little bit more about developing business analysis teams and in particular about BA huddles. Now, do you have cute names for your team meetings? Maybe you call them gatherings or scrums or weekly get-togethers. I really like the word huddle. It doesn't always work for any team meeting, but it is a great name for gathering business analysts together. And by the way, they don't have to be from the same team. So let's not talk about scrums or daily stand-ups or status meetings. Those are all different types of meetings. I want to talk about how to reconnect with your team regularly. And if you're a business analyst, how can you reconnect with other business analysts? How do you stay in touch? So huddle really implies that this is a friendly meetup of equals, okay? They don't have to be in the same team. They don't have to report the same manager. It's really about community of practice, about people who do similar type of job, who have things to share. Do they have a place and time where they can meet and share that? So if you have business analysts spread between the teams, there can be still benefits for regular get-togethers, and they don't have to be with everybody else and project managers and others. Consider it an informal BA community of practice, center of excellence, whatever you want to call it. So what is a BA huddle? Usually it's a regular weekly meeting. Weekly 1 hour cadence is a really good idea. I think it works for most cases. Less than weekly, less frequently, then that meeting becomes more distant. And when meetings become distant, they're no longer tradition, they're no longer routine, then people start to miss them more and more. So first of all, if you want to organize BA huddles, I do recommend you have it weekly. And think about it as a meeting of equals, okay? It's not about managers running that, or project managers running that. It's a meeting of equals. That's why we call it a huddle. Now, managers can participate, but again, they don't need to run it. And the best actual solution that I found through different companies was to rotate the duty of facilitating or organizing this meeting among business analysts. For example, you take turns preparing quick agenda, taking notes, or sending links, or reminding everyone where the meeting is, or booking a meeting room, or bringing treats, or whatever it is that is part of your meeting logistics. So rotate that duty and think about everyone on that little team of business analysts also having an opportunity to practice facilitation. Especially when you have junior BAs. They don't always get to facilitate much. When they go to larger team meetings, often senior BAs or project managers take over. So they don't necessarily get as much practice. And what is it even better than practicing facilitation in a safe space? And that BA huddle should be a safe space, and it should encourage those business analysts to be active participants rather than just consumers. So what is the purpose of business analysis huddle? The main purpose is exchanging useful information, sharing best practices, and it's all really for mutual benefit of business analysts. For example, you are looking for specific requirements, documentation from an older project because you're working on something new or you're doing your discovery, asking around other business analysts or asking someone who worked on a similar or older generation of that solution before. You're facing a challenge with a particular difficult stakeholder. Maybe someone of other BEs worked with them before and can share some advice or some tips, a little bit more about the personality. Maybe you are doing a project and the project is changing scope and maybe expanding. You may want to check with other BEs, let them know, because the expansion of the scope may increase the probability of overlap with someone else's work, and you probably don't want to replicate each other's work, so you want to coordinate. So those BE huddles are a good place where you can exchange information about different projects, what's going on, and it might be useful for both sides. The other example is you're doing the impact analysis. You may need to engage other BEs to better understand what is the impact of the solution you're working on their project You could do it in the huddle right there. Another example is your company is implementing a new requirements management tool or SDLC tool. Maybe you want to exchange some tips because you know how some new tools require more learning and figuring things out, and not everything works the same way as before. So you can discuss the new tool, you can share how you're doing stuff. And I'm sure I could keep going, and you probably could too, but these are just some examples where you can share with other business analysts. You can exchange opinions, you can exchange information, you can give each other advice, you can have a bit of a laugh. So really this is like a support group, okay? The other thing it could be a command center for your community of practice initiative. So if you do have a community of practice or you're trying to organize it, perhaps you are thinking of starting to do requirements peer reviews, okay? Or organizing some internal training and development, maybe a little bit of senior BAs training others, or maybe you're planning to bring in a trainer or plan some conference attendance or some other like webinars with external speakers, anything else that you might be planning to for the benefit of the community, you could plan it during this huddle. You can even strategize how to hire and interview new business analysts. For example, your company is hiring, or one of these departments is hiring a BA. Who can be better than a group of business analysts to review resumes and even sit in on interviews? Because remember, sometimes managers hiring business analysts don't necessarily know as much about the profession and what business analysts need to do as business analysts themselves. I actually worked in a company that did it, that practiced it, and I thought it was really successful, where we as a team of business analysts would rotate, and the two or three of BAs, whoever was available on that particular day and time, would attend the next interview. We all had a similar list of items to assess, and we would compare notes. So a team of business analysts was contributing to the assessment of new candidates. That worked really well, and that can work very well if you set up the expectations, okay? Another thing, going back to peer reviews, requirements peer reviews. Not every company is doing it. I don't know why. I think it is an amazing practice. It is a very good way to validate requirements, and a team of BAs can organize it, again, without necessarily any direction from above. So what it means is that every analyst, as they're working on their own projects, they ask another analyst to do a peer review of their documentation or diagrams or backlog or a combination of those. And again, you rotate them. So that helps you to make your requirements better, because the other analyst is assessing it from that analysis perspective, right? They would look at like whether it's logical, whether there are any contradictions in what you documented. They'll read through and tell you if something is too confusing or hard to understand. And if it is confusing to another BA, it's definitely confusing to customers. They may tell you that the particular requirement, the user story, sounds like something that was just recently implemented in as a solution, and maybe they can help you avoid duplication of functionality. They can point to an area where you already know about some useful artifacts, and you can share those again to avoid rework. So there are so many benefits in doing peer reviews, and again, through this huddle and community of practice, you can organize it, keep it going. So what are the benefits of the huddles for business analysts? Think about it. If you are a junior BA, benefits probably are obvious, right? This can be your reliable mentorship group. This is a group where you can connect with other experts, with other business analysts, or find a mentor, get someone's help to get you up to speed in the new organization. Maybe get attached for a few months to one of the senior BAs as a mentor to help you grow and be on your own feet. So senior members also benefit. First of all, they benefit from building that stronger community, and that elevates the value of business analysis in organization and also elevates the value of their work. That exchange of information can be really helpful because it can lead to discovery of gaps, to identification of risks. So it does help all the analysts to do a better job, because the exchanging information on a deeper level and it's easier for them to find those overlaps, contradictions, and impacts that are important to discover. It also helps to bring junior BAs up to speed faster, which of course also benefits senior BAs. And also, if you are mentoring someone, bringing them to a huddle supports a bit of that crowdsourcing philosophy where junior person gets access to other mentors, even for a short while, and gets to access the wisdom of that group instead of all the responsibility just being on you. You can get a little bit of relief, and they can get answers from other people. And that is also, again, teaching a business analyst, a junior team member, that it's important to listen to different perspectives and ask different stakeholders for their point of view, which is what they also have to apply to the actual requirements project. Another advantage for BA Huddles is that it allows natural leaders to emerge, and sometimes it is critical because maybe you don't have a business analyst manager or BA team lead. Maybe your BAs are dispersed in different teams and are reporting to functional managers, but you never know. At some point your company may decide that they want to have a business analyst lead, or they're looking for a lead BA for a new project that is coming down the pipe, or they're just trying to reorganize and give a little bit more structure to their BA community of practice. Through those huddles, if you already have someone who has been leading a lot, who has been kind of bringing the team together or giving it direction, that may become a natural leader, and I guess the person who might take that lead. And so on one hand, it allowed that person to develop. On another hand, it allows to find a good person, and probably the team is already ready to accept. I'm hearing you thinking, but what if we don't have time? But there is reasons it won't work. I know it's not gonna work. These things never work. My manager is not gonna support me. I'll never have time. Nobody will have time. So I'm sure you can think of a lot of excuses, and of course there's always obstacles. But here's the thing: if you don't promote it as a priority, manager probably won't. Think about it as your opportunity for internal professional development. You don't have to pay extra for it. Your manager doesn't have to pay for it. There's not necessarily any budget required. It is a bit of a grassroots professional development activity, and as such, a smart manager should support it, but maybe they don't understand what it is that you're trying to do. So this is where you have to use your business analysis skills to promote it and explain the benefits, and sell it a little bit to your management if you have to, because it's all about developing community of practice and developing business analysis capability in your company. If it helps, you can even put it on your performance review goals to participate in BA Huddle next year, or to organize a BA Huddle. A last resort, you can have that informal BA get together over lunch once a week. If you can't do it during work hours, just use your lunch hour for that, because it is about personal connections and developing what you know. And one more reason why these BA huddles are really, really helpful. Sometimes if you have on the team a BA who's not really performing, or not doing their job, or avoiding responsibility, or maybe letting other analysts down, there's always a possibility that you might have someone. I think through that BA huddle, that information can surface faster. It will be more visible among the peers that someone isn't actually up to speed, or isn't really doing proper analysis, or missing important things that may be creating problems for others. So first of all, the huddle can give others opportunity maybe to coach that person who is struggling. And second, of course, raise it as an issue if you really have to. So I think that BA huddle can benefit both juniors and seniors, and it is good for the company. If you have never tried it, I encourage you to give it a try. If you are a BA leader, or if you are a project management leader in your organization, please give your team a chance to do it. Encourage them, or even maybe ask them to start it, because it is all about developing BA capability in your organization. I have some other videos about the value of business analysis in the organization that I'll link below, and think about it as a great investment for any company to develop its business analysis capability. That's it for today, and see you next week.